Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, it really is very satisfying, the conversation, having studied anthropology and social sciences and tapped into psychology, sociology, and all these matters. And we, like, while being trained, we really take the body as a very crucial and important topic because it is it is the subject of cultural norms. It is the first thing that cultural norms address, whether directly or indirectly. And I'm going to incorporate some media approach to it. Basically, beauty standards are, if I want to extend from your conversations and what you've been mentioning, and I love that Ryan said objective beauty. I literally wrote it down so I can mention it. And it does extend from the Han concept that you mentioned, Brandon. So, beauty standards are complex social constructs shaped by an intersection of cultural norms, psychological conditioning, and societal power structures. So, anthropologically, they do reflect the shifting cultural values that are highly influenced by globalization, by media, by local traditions, and extending from what Ms. G says, just said, per se, you have studies about the sunscreen industry and how much money they are making from marketing that stuff, going to like really cultural stuff that goes into like K-pop, Afro-Arab glam, digital subcultures, etc. So beauty operates as a form of like a social capital, and it is oftenly reinforcing hierarchies tied to one's race, one's class, one's gender, one's ability and physical or whatever capabilities that society has already convinced them to do that, also while serving a tool of inclusion or exclusion through algorithmic visibility that we have on social and market driven trends. So this entices a psychological approach, which is like repeated exposure to idealized imagery, especially online, and most crucially online, that fuels comparisons, body dissatisfaction, anxiety, rooted in both, I would say, like evolutionary cues and learned behavior. Yet, the resistance, that's not to sound as a pessimist like all the time, but like we have some kind of resistance that's been growing, which is body neutrality, the decolonization of whatever aesthetic means, and an intersectional activism that is just challenging those standards about appearance and whatever appearance is for us on the cultural level, which is also, as a lived experience, it is highly shaped by identity, by perceptions, like the different perceptions that we have, that is highly, again, very culturally and socially constructed. And I would like extend on this by saying that this cultural construct really redefines what the social meanings behind, or like how it perceives the body and how it perceives women or men, the site of identity, that is sometimes also, it does go deeper into religion and the older worlds and how it is reflected to our modern societies, health norms, other like beauty standards, dress codes in offices, or like, you can extend it to all the subcultures that we have in our society. But it also is deep to like perceiving not only the way we are on the cultural level, but also per se when we're young, when we're adults, when we're aging, and those beauty standards that we have set on the cultural aspect is also isolating for per se the aging people, because bodies do change over time, and this is not acknowledged when it comes to discussing beauty and the fuss around it, because they don't, like most of the institutions in society, they don't realize that they are isolating aged people per se from the different aspect of like productivity, and beauty and care, etc. So I don't know if that, like, I don't want to go deeper. Brandon. But like I want to say also, like, the final thing that I would like to add, which is like pure anthropological, is basically ritual and performance. Beauty is performative, and this is something that we must not ignore. It's what we must, like, we should really acknowledge that with like tattoos, the way we sacrifice certain things, like in different tribal maybe societies nowadays, but like a lot of a lot of cultures, a lot of religions, they do still they do have sacrifices that they do on different occasions, and it is really central around the body and the rituals around the body and what they do, how they dance, how they express the art on their bodies or through their bodies. So this is why I said it is like disciplined and controlled and mediated and related to religion and to culture. Thank you.
So now does everybody understand why I've been trying to pull up Zuha for the last like half an hour or maybe hour and a half? This young woman who I had the privilege of meeting because of her brother just opened her mouth one day. And she was always quiet in this other space, and I didn't get to hear her beauty in her words. And then one day she just went off, and she was talking about taking care of people in humanity, and just she was talking about what I have probably dreamt of doing since the beginning of my life, when I could start to think of like, what do I do, and what's my purpose. But it was so beautiful. And then I've encouraged her a bit to talk here and there, and we've had conversations, and I had no idea she'd just blow my mind again. Like this today, my brain is actually like, in Korean we say tajasa, which means exploded. So my brain tajasa. And I mean, we've obviously had so many amazing thoughts, but Zua, I applaud you once more.